You're with NewsMakers on the panel, Sir Kerry Burke, Nicky, Wagner and Duncan, Webb. In the past week, Sir Kerry Burke has confirmed his intention to switch racetracks. However, he won't be standing for the mayoralty. Instead, he has endorsed Jim Anderton for that particular job. Sir Kerry will stand in Spraydon Heathcote as a City Council candidate. Would Jim Anderton be a better mayor than you?
Well, I think he's had much more recent high-level government experience, and I think he's got a better chance of winning. He's had a profoundly good organisation over the years. He's captured a personal vote in his constituency. He's got business experience, and the business community in Christchurch is screaming out for people with sound business experience, I think, at the decision-making table. So, yeah, I think he's got a lot of qualities, and I think he's got a better chance of winning, and I'm happy to support him because overall, first and foremost, change at the top of the City Council is needed.
Were you talked out of the mayoral race?
No, I could run. I had people who actually were prepared to help fund a significant mayoral campaign, but I wouldn't want to get, say, 15–18% and have Jim Anderton lose by 2%.
You quit 2021 a few weeks ago and slammed the group as, quote, becoming increasingly intertwined with parliamentary agendas. Was that a reference to Megan Woods? Well,
Megan and others there have parliamentary aspirations, and of course, having myself spent 15 years there, I'm not critical of people who have parliamentary aspirations, but I think it's better for local government to have it seen as clearly separate. I mean, there are former national MPs who've stood for the citizens. There are citizens candidates who stand for national, as Nicky did. So there is clearly a crossover,
yes.
But I think the agendas need to be more clearly separated.
You also claimed 2021 had lost the breadth of opinion it contained a decade ago. Did you quit, in all honesty, because 2021 would not support you for your mayoral ambitions?
No, there were some process issues which I felt needed to be addressed and weren't. But I am concerned, and I think others are, that 2021 does not have the people in it. I think even Nicky was a member or supporter in early years. Jonathan Elworthy, a Muldoon Cabinet Minister, was a candidate for 2021. And we need, and we will, I'm sure, evolve a broad centrist, centre-left local grouping in due course.
So you've kissed and made up now?
Oh, we're working closely together, yeah. I mean, the issues are passé. The focus is on working together to achieve real change at the City Council.
Sue Wells, who will be one of your rivals, obviously, in Spraydon Heathcote, is confident of re-election. She says, quote, "I know where I live and I'm standing in that ward," which is a clear dig at your geographical reality in Maryvale. Are you shifting?
Well, I have represented, I grew up not far from where Sue Wells lives and went to school just around the corner from there. I have represented that area for nearly 12 years. I know the people there, and we will, I think, ensure that they have good representation, and especially on the area where they've lost the ability to have representation through focus on environmental issues, water issues in particular.
Okay. Duncan, you're intimately connected with the centre-left of Christchurch. Why didn't the troops rally around Sir Kerry and instead gave Jim the nod?
Oh, look, I think Kerry's answered that question really well, and if I might say so very graciously. I think there's a recognition that the best thing that can happen for Christchurch is to roll Bob Parker and get a really good mayor in place. And it's no good bickering, the left bickering amongst itself. And Kerry, quite magnanimously, has recognised that Jim's got the best chance. So, you know, well done, Kerry.
Nicky, do you think Christchurch would be well served as having Sir Kerry Burke as a City Councillor?
What I'd like to see in Christchurch is a real disconnect between central and local government. I think that a city always loses wherever it's connected. If they're connected to, for example, we've had a Labour council here for a very long time. It's been a safe Labour town, and I think it's suffered because of that. There's no reason to look after it. I would like to see Christchurch really take a step forward. I'd like it to be forward-looking. I'd like it to be vibrant. I'd like my sons to be able to look at Christchurch and say, yes, it's a city going somewhere.
And
I think we need lots of change. I actually don't see anyone of our generation as part of that change. I think we should be looking to. I think we should be looking to a more cross-generational council. I think we're dominated by middle-aged, often men. I think we should be looking forward. I think we should be a more connected city, and I think we should be looking at the young generations that are coming through.
All right, interesting. So that wasn't exactly a shining endorsement for Sir Kerry, was it?
Sorry, no.
Okay. Can I just refer to your respective recent history on ECAN together?
Yes.
From recollection, you were the head of ECAN's public transport portfolio. I note that the ECAN commissioners have knocked out a couple of $1 million for Metro bus contracts. Does that concern you?
I don't think it was that much. It's actually a very big amount of money. It's in the 40 million plus range. So I think it's more a tweak than a knockout. Of course, I think public transport's really important. And the best thing that I've seen lately is the fact that the new bus lanes have actually meant that there's been more use of public transport. It's actually increased. So we were always worried about the bus lanes, what they were going to do, but it's actually increased. And I think we should be focusing on
So
that.
3.9% of commuters now take the bus to work as opposed to 3.6%.
You've always been so scathing. I think it's increased by 9% each year.
And the numbers have doubled in about 10 years, but the main savings have been caused by the change in the contractual arrangements, which the former elected members put out for tender, and it's because those tenders have come in at a lower cost. I think previously they were net contracts, now they're gross contracts, and that has meant a greater efficiency and therefore less ratepayer contribution.
How would you assess overall the chops and changes that the commissioners have made to the annual plan?
For me, I think they could go further. The technical work shows that cost recovery from irrigators should be at 51%. They've only put in 30. That was the issue which we had the conflict of interest case last year, so there's another $1.5 million or thereabouts which is being paid by general ratepayers to business costs of the farming community, and most of that comes out of Christchurch. They could have gone to 51% because the technical data shows that that's the right figure and not 30.
I think it's a really good beginning, and I think it's a signal that there is change there and that we're going to get a better result.
What do you think? I guess the only real sad thing is that a good chunk of those savings are from the loss of democracy, and it'll be good to see a council back doing the same work but doing it with a mandate.
Nicky, I don't recall when you were serving on the regional council ever coming out publicly saying we need to disband this body, it's inefficient, we're not getting a water plan done, we've got to go. We need Dame Margaret. I don't recall you saying that.
No, and I didn't say that, and we worked really hard on that water plan. And the key issue is that it's got stymied. I mean, we put hours and hours into that water plan, and I got to the stage that I thought the only way we're going to push it through is actually by putting commissioners in. And the beauty of what the commissioners are doing, there's two things they're doing. First of all, they're pushing the water plan that Sir Kerry and I and all the other councillors worked on through. And the second thing is that they're giving statutory backing to the Canterbury Water Management Strategy, which was what the whole community wanted to put in through too. So I think they're actually supporting two very democratic processes that ECAN had undertaken.
I see some frowning faces.
Well, the water plan was proposed in the middle of 2004. Submissions and cross-submissions were then heard. Commissioners have been hearing and deliberating since 2006. There are 62,000 decisions. They're finishing in about another 2 months. This has nothing to do with the commissioners, I'm afraid.
But the
nothing to do with
last time that I spoke to Brian Jenkins, he said that it could be 2 to 3 years to get the cross go for the court.
Appeals,
exactly.
Yes, and
so that this will actually short-change that and get it through faster.
Yep,
and there's no doubt about it. Everybody in Canterbury wants better water management.
Yeah, but everyone wants just water management as well. And
absolutely.
one of the things that's gone wrong is that all of a sudden what had been an agreed and fair process has been gutted, and now, as Kerry says, what the Commissioner says goes. No questions. Doesn't matter how bad they do it, doesn't matter what the process is.
That's not quite right. That's not quite right. The Canterbury Water Management Strategy is still absolutely collaborative with each of the catchment areas, and they will come up with the final answers, which is what
sounds very much
Canterbury
like
wants.
the Bainimarama approach to decision-making to me.
We'll keep an eye on the personnel who make up those zone committees, which is an interesting case in point at the moment. We'll take a break. Coming up, the marina. Speaking of water, it's big in Canterbury, isn't it? Plenty more ahead. Do stay with us.